KYW-TV, Philadelphia. This is the News Tonight with Jennifer Ward, David Rogers, weather, and Yuki Washington on sports. And now, the News Tonight.
Good evening. Our top story tonight, 16 people die in a fireball when a military transport plane plunges into an Indiana motel. One witness said it looked like Pearl Harbor. Flames were everywhere. Thick black smoke poured from the wreckage. The plane went down in Evansville, a southern Indiana city near the Kentucky border. The C-130 transport plane was being flown by the Kentucky National Guard. Witnesses say 1 minute the plane was doing fine, the next it was nosediving for the ground.
For some reason he lost speed and altitude, and at the end it's like the airplane stalled and it just fell flat to the ground.
I was driving down 41 here and I looked at the sky and I seen the green Army transport. It turned sideways and its nose right straight into the building.
The crash killed the plane's 5-man crew, 9 people in the motel, and 2 more victims in the adjoining restaurant. At this hour, the cause of the crash remains a mystery. A harrowing escape from a burning row house makes news in the Delaware Valley tonight. Terrified children screamed after their narrow brush with death. It happened in Philadelphia's Kensington section. 5 children and 2 adults are lucky to be alive. The children were dropped to safety from burning second-floor windows into the arms of neighbors. Their father is critically burned and their mother broke her heels. The cause of the fire isn't known. In Trenton, a newborn baby was found outside a church and police are looking for the mother. The baby's now in a hospital, kicking up a fuss. The child's body temperature was 10 degrees below normal when he was found, but he's improving with oxygen and antibiotics. A woman said she found him outside Baptist Calvary Hospital, or church rather, wrapped in a coat.
Babies are so fragile at that age, and they look real young. He looked real beautiful. Such a gorgeous baby.
While the search for the mother continues, officials tell us if you have questions about adopting this baby, call the Adoption Resource Center at 609-777-2100. In Bucks County, secret videotape helped catch and convict a Bristol Borough councilman and 2 borough employees for stealing food from a food bank for the poor. A hidden surveillance camera videotaped them and 2 other borough employees carrying off food packages last September. The government food was taken from a borough warehouse where it was being distributed to needy people. In Marlton, New Jersey, police are trying to calm fears and solicit help after the murder of an elderly woman. KYW3's Joyce Evans reports police are dealing with real concerns tonight.
And it's going to be up to you to help us to do the job.
Police came to solicit help from neighbors at the Wood Hollow condominiums in Marlton, but the crowd that spilled out onto the steps mainly wanted an answer to who killed one of their neighbors. 3 weeks ago, 67-year-old Doris McGarry was found suffocated, her condo burglarized and ransacked.
We are kind of scared about this happening.
Because we don't know what's going on.
If we get one break, we'll solve the case because the physical evidence is there. We've found a fingerprint.
County Prosecutor Steve Raymond and local police urged neighbors to join Town Watch. But current Town Watch members like Jose Figueroa say don't count on it until the murderer is caught. He hasn't walked his own shift in 2 weeks.
So there's no way I'm going to walk by myself out there without knowing, what to expect.
Police gave the neighbors a list of safety tips that includes checking up on each other from time to time, making sure stairwells and balconies are well lit, and to keep doors and windows locked at all times.
We all have to get out there on the street, and walk the neighborhood watch. That's what it's all about.
Now, ironically, McGarry was a driving force behind the development's Town Watch in the first place. And Jennifer, police are not ruling out the possibility that her killer may be the same person responsible for other recent break-ins.
Okay, Joyce, thank you. For those who have information, there is a way you can provide a tip but stay anonymous. You can call the Secret Witness Hotline, dial 609-267-7667. That's 609-267-7667. The hotline was set up by the prosecutor's office. President Bush finally details his plan to heal our ailing healthcare system, and that's making news across the nation tonight. But KYW3's Barbara Monaco reports many feel the plan may fall short of its goal.
when Barbara McGeehan pays the bills, she knows all about the health insurance cost crunch. That's one reason why her husband John switched from being self-employed to a job with the city. Benefits.
We will make health care more accessible.
The family watched the president's plan on nightly news. It allows low-income families with incomes under $14,000 a year tax credits of up to $3,750 to buy private health insurance. For the middle class with incomes under $80,000, Bush would permit tax deductions of up to the same amount. John liked what he heard.
It's the best of all the plans that are out there now.
But Barbara is suspicious.
Because I think people have the tendency right away that they say, okay, people are going to get a credit, let's increase the costs.
Some healthcare specialists say the health insurance problem is even worse here in the Delaware Valley because the Philadelphia area is a high-cost medical market.
People won't be able to afford the insurance.
Bob Brand is former chair of the Pennsylvania Healthcare Cost Containment Council. He doesn't like the president's plan.
It does nothing to control costs of American health care, which is skyrocketing. What we need is a single insurance company that can insure everyone and then let doctors and hospitals compete for our health care dollars.
With a democratically controlled Congress, some say the Bush plan is not likely to pass. Barbara Monaco, The News Tonight.
In Indianapolis, one juror is excused from the Mike Tyson rape trial. The judge says the juror is too distraught after a fatal fire in the hotel where the jury had been sequestered. Defense testimony will get underway in the morning. The boy who had both arms reattached after a farming accident is being called a medical miracle. 18-year-old John Thompson spoke to reporters at his hospital today. John's arms were ripped off by a piece of machinery on his North Dakota farm last month. After the accident, he ran to his house, opened the door with his mouth, and dialed the phone with a pen clenched in his teeth. John says he wasn't being brave, he just had to do it.
I didn't want to lay there and wait to die because, I mean, that'd take forever for me to die.
I wanted to teach farm families how to deal with accidents. There's a tremendously powerful safety message there. If you're not safe, this is what happens to you. But if that happens to you, here's what you should do.
Dr. Van Beek still doesn't know how much movement John will have in his reattached limbs. He's facing at least 3 more years of surgery and therapy. In East Jerusalem, women protesters are attacked with clubs by Israeli police, and that's making news around the world tonight. The Palestinian women were chanting in the street. They want Israeli prison conditions investigated, but their chants turned to screams when police charged them with clubs. Several women were dragged to police vans. Others were hit by police. Israeli police say it got violent because the women refused to go home. In Madrid, a car bomb exploded this morning, killing 5 and wounding several others. Police blamed a Basque separate group for the blast. The bomb destroyed a military van, but it also raised questions about Spain's ability to keep the Summer Olympic Games in Barcelona safe from terrorist attacks. In England, it was 40 years ago today that a young princess named Elizabeth became queen. She was just 25 years old back in 1952. Her father had died unexpectedly, leaving her the throne. Today, Queen Elizabeth is one of the best-known royals. She says she has no intention of quitting her job for life. That means her 43-year-old son, Charles, will just have to keep waiting to be king. And that's your news to the moment. In a few minutes, The Issue Tonight exposes unsanitary conditions at local markets. We'll take you on a supermarket checkout where health inspectors uncover wretched conditions. And we'll show you how to check your own market for unsanitary conditions. That's just ahead. Issues and information you won't find anywhere else on The Issue Tonight. In first sports, the Spectrum ice is warming up for the Flyers lately. For first scores, let's go to Yuki in the newsroom. Yuki.
Yeah, Jennifer, the Flyers continue to play well at home. They are 8-1-5 in their last 14 at the Spectrum after tonight's win over Boston. Your final tonight, Flyers 5 and the Bruins 1. Ken Reggett stopped 26 Boston shots in the process. The Flyers mixed the young with the old in the scoring department. We'll see how they did it later in the sports tonight. College basketball tonight and another win to talk about in the city. The Temple Owls played host to conference rival Rutgers and beat them pretty good. Owls 92-78 over the Scarlet Knights. Nick Kilgore 27 points. Rutgers loses number 6 in a row. And in the NBA, the Clippers have a new head coach. He's former Spurs head guy Larry Brown. Lots more coming up later in the sports tonight. Jennifer.
Okay, thanks, Yuke. We'll see you later. Gray skies are moving in for tomorrow. Tom LeMaine is in for David Rogers with first weather.
As the Grateful Dead once said, Jennifer, a touch of gray tomorrow, but no wet stuff. We can hold off the precipitation for the next couple of days anyway. But there are clouds coming in from the west and clouds coming in from a storm system that is off the southeast Atlantic coast. So that will bring some clouds into the area tomorrow morning. Your morning rush will have a touch of gray, 25 to 30. Once again, temperatures will be below freezing during the rush hour. rising to 35 to 40 by lunchtime, and the winds will pick up too out of the east-northeast at about 20 miles an hour. And lunchtime, we'll see clouds again, and by the heading home rush hour, we'll have a high of about 40 degrees, maybe 42, and it will remain mostly cloudy for the afternoon, and still those breezes out of the northeast as the storm system passes to our east off the Atlantic coast. Could cause some gales to arise down along the Jersey Shore. I'll talk more about that in the 5-day forecast when I come back. Right now, that's a look at first weather tonight. Jennifer?
Thank you, Tom. Up next, the issue tonight. But first, let's check tonight's winning lottery numbers. If you play, good luck. We'll be right back. On the issue tonight, we expose sloppy, unsanitary food stores. What we found in our supermarket checkout could pose a real health threat to you and your family. And KYW3's Paul Moriarty reports our survey results could turn your stomach.
A health threat may be lurking right below your grocer's shelves.
I see a dead mouse and a number of German roaches.
In the back room, things could be out of control.
As you can see, you have a lot of roaches.
But these are the types of problems Philadelphia's health inspectors are trained to look for. And on this day, Bernie Finkel has seen a lot.
I'm a little concerned with what's here at this point.
Finkel's inspection began around 9 a.m. at the independently owned American Family Supermarket in Kensington. It was nightfall when he finally finished. In between, he found everything from unsanitary equipment to a serious mouse problem to general sloppiness.
The place, shall we say, has some housekeeping problems.
Well, in the issue tonight, we'll show you more of that supermarket inspection, and we'll also show you how you can inspect the store where you shop. And that's important, because in Philadelphia, for example, there are over 3,000 grocery stores and only 11 inspectors. And while the federal government says that each of those stores should be inspected 4 times a year, it's more likely they'll only be inspected once every 3 years.
The mice are evidently running in and out of there.
Back on the inspection, Finkel has apparently found the source of the mice, holes in the walls and spaces beneath exterior doors. The mouse problem is evident throughout the store. A dead mouse by the freezer case, another in a storage area, and right below the meat preparation area, some mouse droppings.
At this point, there's an active mouse problem.
And where are the meat handlers washing their hands?
Do you have hot water anywhere in the store?
No hot water in the meat room is enough to close this area down.
Want a cup of coffee? Relax for a little bit?
No, thank you.
It will be a long day for Inspector Finkel. Despite this sign, there seems to be sloppiness everywhere. Food improperly stored in a freezer or just sitting on a dirty floor. And unsanitary food preparation equipment, including dirty knives and a cutting machine caked with old meat.
You gotta clean it. Look, here, what's that?
Yeah, we always clean.
Well, a good cleaning is what this supermarket needs, and the owner will have a maximum of 30 days to get it done. But what about the store where you shop? How can you tell whether or not it has problems? Well, here's some tips. Check the shelves. If you're always finding food spillage here, that's a bad sign.
Just a very small amount of spillage, an eighth of an ounce a day, will support an adult mouse.
So look for small black pellets on shelves and floors. These are mouse droppings.
The mice or rats will routinely urinate and defecate on the food packaging. And that's the food packaging you and your children are handling.
And if you should see roaches, remember this.
For every roach one of our people sees during inspection, there's approximately 300 more that you don't see.
Also check for dirty floors and ceilings. If it's not clean out front, it may be even worse in the back.
Your kitchen would be clean. The market should also be clean.
Check the rear of the store. Trash around the dumpster is an open invitation to rodents.
Once you attract them into the area, it oftentimes is only a matter of time before they enter the store.
Tomorrow, as our report continues, Philadelphia's largest supermarket checks in with some bad food. Paul Moriarty, the news tonight.
Now, the owner of the store says that he's corrected many of the violations just within the past week, but he's scheduled for another inspection next week. While the City Health Department is overloaded, they still want you to call if you see a problem in your neighborhood supermarket. Call 893-7495. That's 893-7495. Stay with us on the news tonight. When we return, Tom Lemaine has the 5-day forecast. Plus, fat paychecks are on tap for heavyweights Larry Holmes and Ray Mercer tomorrow night. Yuki Washington has the scores and more in the sports tonight. Still ahead. Time for the weather tonight, including the 5-day outlook. Here again is Tom Lemaine, and it's going to be gray, huh?
A touch of gray. That's right. As Jerry Garcia once sang, a touch of gray. Little high, thin clouds are moving in right now along the Jersey Shore. As a matter of fact, they're starting to lower, not so high anymore. 3,500 feet is the ceiling at the Atlantic City Airport in Pomona. And the highs and lows for the day, well, Poconos got up to 28 after a low of 9 degrees up at Mount Pocono. 17 was the low in Allentown, 21 Philadelphia, 22 Wilmington, and 23 in Atlantic City. In Atlantic City today only get up to 35 degrees. Sea breeze coming off an ocean temperature of 36. 31 here at KYW and 26 at the airport. Relative humidity up there making it feel a little raw tonight, and a northeast wind coming in from a storm that is swirling off the coast of South Carolina right now, just to the east of Charleston, and bringing in an easterly flow, but probably no clouds in our area. These clouds will start coming in tomorrow. That line right there is a cold front that will bring us below normal temperatures for the weekend, I believe. But the precipitation associated with that storm continues to move toward the east-northeast at about 10 to 15 miles an hour. So no rain in the forecast, no snow either. But a mostly clear sky tonight, except along the Jersey Shore, where they're getting some clouds. 20 in the suburbs, 27 downtown. Tomorrow, we'll see those clouds lower and thicken, and the winds will pick up, too, out of the northeast at 10 to 15 miles an hour. Now, down along the Jersey Shore, those winds could reach gale force, and the tides could run about a foot above normal tomorrow. Should cause no problems, but you might want to take that into consideration. And then the clouds lower and thicken on Friday, becoming a blustery day, a gray day on Saturday, and changeable, too. Windy weather will bring in colder temperatures. High temperatures Sunday and Monday, just barely above freezing, and looks like the next rain or snow event won't come until Tuesday of next week. That's a look at the weather tonight. Jennifer?
Thank you, Tom. A destructive fire in Ridley Township is making news around the region tonight. Fire raced through the Linden Lane apartments on McDade Boulevard. 6 apartments or a total were lost. 3 more were heavily damaged. Officials say the fire started when a 13-year-old walked away from food cooking on a stove. Residents were alerted by fire alarms. They got out of the burning buildings unharmed. And firefighters rescue a small dog and reunite him with his owners. In Bensalem Township, burglars are stealing bathroom plumbing fixtures. They've been ripping out flush valves from bathrooms in 4 buildings, including the Comfort Inn. 30 valves, valued at $30 each, are missing from the Greenwood office complex on Street Road. Police say the thieves must be professionals with the proper tools and plumbing know-how. Stay with us on the news tonight. Sports is up next, but plus the latest version of the Better Mousetrap. It's a knockout for mice and men, and it's coming up on the news tonight. In Berkeley, California, an inventor has the 1992 version of the Better Mousetrap. It's called the Ratapult, a kind of catapult for rats. Here's an unsuspecting Brazil nut. It's being used for demonstration purposes. When it crosses an infrared beam, it finds itself suddenly flying through the air. The inventor says the Ratapult is more human than traditional traps because real rats are only stunned, not killed. I would imagine a bit ticked off, too.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so speaking of flying and...
Yeah, Flyers.
Flyers.
Playing very well right now at home. Yeah, the Flyers hosted the Bruins tonight. Boston had a 6-game unbeaten string going in despite being pretty bruised up with 10 players out of action. Flyers in orange, they didn't care who was hurt. Ask Ken Reggett. He put a hurting on the Bruins offense. Reggett stopped 26 shots. Second period, in the crease, Wes Walsh scores his first goal as a Flyer. The home team mixed the youth and the veterans tonight, which didn't make the Boston bench too happy at all. Third period, Al Conroy, playing in just his 7th game since being called up from Hershey, got up after falling down to score 3-1 Flyers. They never looked back. Now to the veterans. Number 2 gets 1. Mark Howe with a goal, his 6th for the year. He also had an assist. 4-1 home team. The Flyers get an empty netter later. They win it 5-1, still playing well at home. Craig Billington of the Devils had some problems between the pipes tonight against St. Louis. Pull out the white flag, especially with Brett Hull racing in your direction. He goes in on the breakaway. Yeah, score it. The Blues were up 4-1 in the third period. Your standings to the moment in the Patrick division look like this. The Rangers way out in front with 72 points. Then it's Washington, Jersey, Pittsburgh in fourth. The Islanders are next, but only 1 point up on the Flyers. Well, the Temple Owls played host to defending Atlantic 10 regular season champ Rutgers tonight. Temple came in winning 3 of its last 4, while Rutgers had lost 5 in a row. Make it 6. Will someone stand up and help this young man cheer? That's okay. He made the highlights. So did Fraser Johnson and Aaron McKee. Nice give and go for the bucket. Coach Cheney's team in complete control tonight with a complete team game. After the steal at the other end, Nick Kilgore sends it up to Eddie Jones. Maybe some baby steps, but a man-sized dunk. The Owls made a season-high 11 three-point shots. Nick Kilgore with the basketball pulls the trigger right here. He had 27 points. Temple wins 92-78. They are 11-8 overall, 8-4 in the Atlantic 10. As we mentioned, a complete team game. Here's the scoring breakdown. Kilgore with 27. Aaron McKee chipped in with 21. Vic Karstafen with 17 on a perfect night from the field, 5 for 5, and 4 of those from three-point land. Fraser Johnson and Mark Strickland had 9 points apiece. Denny Crum and Louisville hosted UNC Charlotte tonight. Reserve James Brewer scored 19 points to lead the Cardinals to a 73-63 win. The Cardinals are 13-6, 4-3 in the conference. Well, the Sixers have a little time off now. They've started the All-Star break already. That game, of course, will be Sunday afternoon right here on KYW3. The Knicks in white played host to the Rockets. Mark Jackson with a career-high 19 assists. This one to Patrick Ewing. Ewing outplayed Hakeem Olajuwon at the Garden. Sir Patrick had 24 points and 13 rebounds. Olajuwon finished with just 14 points. Knicks win 102-85. Detroit at the Cavaliers. Cleveland came out strong in the first quarter. It was alley-oop city for Larry Nance. Starting off strong after beating the Sixers last night. But boy, did they tire out, scoring only 1 bucket in the second quarter. Isaiah Thomas had 38 points for Detroit. He went to the bucket with authority at both ends. Dennis Rodman had 26 rebounds. The Pistons win. The final score, 112-95. On the scoreboard, Washington 124-108 over Jersey. The Warriors lose on the road, 132-113. Atlanta 123-112 over Orlando. Milwaukee 106. Denver 97. Portland got by Dallas 103-98. And Indiana 117. San Antonio 106 in the fourth quarter. Friday night at the fights. Tomorrow night in Atlantic City. The weigh-in today. WBO champ Merciless Ray Mercer takes on former heavyweight champion Larry Holmes in a scheduled 12-rounder. Larry stepped on the scales today and didn't look too bad. Holmes checked in at 233 pounds even. Mercer will go into tomorrow's fight a little bit lighter than Larry, but not that much. Ray Mercer 228 3/4 pounds. Larry Holmes, at the age of 42, is 54-3 overall with 38 knockouts. He's also 5-0 since he started his comeback against, shall we say, marginal opponents. Ray Mercer will be an excellent test after a late start in the fight game. The 30-year-old power hitter is 18-0 at 13 knockouts. One last look in the sports tonight at the sport of upskiing in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. All you need is a frozen lake, pond, or huge body of water, a pair of skis, some wind, a parachute, good balance, and maybe a lot of guts. These babies can reach speeds up to 70 to 80 miles an hour. I tried that parasailing thing down in Florida.
You can hit a building that way, you know.
Thank you.
Okay, stay with us on the news tonight. When we return, they're supposed to be a sign of respect, but many children are wearing them as a sign of the times. Yarmulkes, that's the last word. Next. There was a mix-up on a telephone number we gave you before. The number for the City Health Department, if you see a problem at your supermarket, is 823-7495. That's 823-7495. And the last word tonight is yarmulke. For 2,000 years, the traditional skull cap worn by Jewish men and boys. But not until this year have we seen yarmulkes like these, the so-called pop yarmulke. Leave it to the kids in Beverly Hills to start the big trend. They weren't satisfied with 2,000 years of status quo. Enter the Ninja Turtle yarmulke, the Ghostbusters yarmulke, or the Super Mario model. Is it disrespectful? Religious leaders say not really.
Well, and I hope that the kids will see far past Ninja Turtles. But if that's going to keep them wearing the yarmulkes and keep them proud of being Jewish, then I think it's okay.
The pop yarmulkes sell for between $10 and $20. They come in knit, corduroy, leather, and suede. And that's the News Tonight. I'm Jennifer Ward for Yuki and Tom and the entire News Tonight team. Good night.